Saving Aravali is not an option. It's our duty.
Footpath in Delhi is silently disappearing.
I spoke 2 times rape word. I have to avoid this word.
An honorable respected sir, a strong country is not built on fast delivery, but on fair treatment of its people.
क्या रखा है बीड़ी सिगरेट सिगार में कि क्या रखा है बीड़ी सिगरेट सिगार में सांस लेके देखिए दिल्ली एनसीआर में.
Could you please provide me some remedy? How do we clean air in Delhi? Advanced European cities like Paris, Berlin, Amsterdam, and Barcelona strongly discourage on-street parking through their modern advanced parking infrastructure and enforcement of parking rules and traffic rules. There is no reason why Delhi cannot do the same with proper planning and political will.
और आपने जो कोट किया रोटी कपड़ा मकान से पहले है अच्छी सांस लेना. And that was a very good point. It was touching.
Child labor is robbing the little children's education and their basic childhood also.
So, Speaker Sir, I would like to say it is need for some increase of infrastructures, increase of beds, and laboratory tests and basic medicines should be available in this hospital.
Considering all these issues, I want to ask all our parliamentarians and to common people that ask 3 questions.
This is our first pre-global parliamentary session, which has a purpose. The purpose is very clear, just to raise some concerns which can be highlighted and through which there can be a slight improvement. Like for example, if something is lagging behind in our nation, in our country, through these words or these sentences, there can be an improvisation. If you feel that, poverty is a kind of problem that my constituency is facing or my nation is facing, you can raise that issue. There is no barrier today, neither of constituency, nor of district, nor of state, nor of country, nor of global. You can talk about your village to UN and USA and UK. That's not an issue, right? There is no barrier. If you want to stick to your village, you can stick, no problem. If you want to cross the border, you want to go America, UK, London, Canada, Australia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, you can go, no problem. So you can talk domestic level to global level. The first thing. This parliamentary session is not about between the opposition and the ruling party, but it is all about talking about the issues which is being faced by millions and bulk number of people. But if you want to raise any concern, you can regard me as your opponent. You can regard me because I am the speaker. So you can regard me as the ruling party. So you can ask me, if you want to ask my speaker, sir, what about that victim who was victimized by the heinous crime, rape and physical harassment, but the accused is outside. I want to understand that why did it happen? Who will be liable to answer this? Because there are millions of cases which has been registered, and there are millions of cases which is not registered even against physical harassment and rape. So you all have to understand that. Achha, one more thing. For example, I spoke 2 times rape word. I have to avoid this word. I can use physical harassment, right? We have to avoid this kind of words like fat, black, rape. These words we have to avoid, and we have to use good words. So today, without any delay, without any procrastination, I would like to start and I would like to go with it. And I hope that you all must be ready and must be all right to go with it. Right. So let's begin it one by one. Whoever will start, he or she has to stand up and he or she has to say his or her point. All right. Is that okay? So should we start? You're starting from Mr. Ashok. Please put your hands together.
Speaker Sir, please allow me to share a real and everyday example from my constituency is Delhi. The road corridor from Lakshmi Nagar to Kakaduma Road is one of the busiest corridors in Delhi. However, cars are parked haphazardly and randomly on both sides of the roads, making the streets cluttered and chaotic. During peak hours, the roads become unmanageable. The situation becomes chaotic. Sir, there is a recent incident where an ambulance was delayed by several minutes due to these illegally parked cars. In these emergency situations, a delay of few minutes can decide between life and death. Sir, I want to ask to my fellow parliamentarians, is this acceptable in my capital city of this country? The risk of accidents has increased manifold, especially for pedestrians, senior citizens and children. Fuel wastage and vehicle emissions have increased, further worsening the air pollution of Delhi. Citizens lose productive time and face daily frustration and stress. Honorable Speaker, sir, we must learn from best global practices. Cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Dubai have invested heavily in their modern infrastructure for parking, like such as underground parking, multi-level parking, and automated parking system. Similarly, advanced European cities like Paris, Berlin, Amsterdam, and Barcelona strongly discourage on-street parking through their modern advanced parking infrastructure and enforcement of parking rules and traffic rules. As a result, their roads remain clear, pedestrians are safer, and emergency vehicles move without obstruction. Sir, of cities with older layouts and limited land can successfully implement underground and multi-level parking, there is no reason why Delhi cannot do the same with proper planning and political will.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker, sir, and respected member of this House. I am Vikas and representing XYZ constituency, and with your kind permission, I am here today raising an issue which is related to Aravalli Hills. The first thing I want to draw your kind attention to a matter of serious public importance. The recent verdict delivered by the Honorable Supreme Court concerning Aravalli Hills and its far-reaching environmental implications. According to the new definition of Aravalli Hills, the landforms rising 100 meters and more above the surrounding ground level are considering as a part of hills or the Aravalli. Only when two or more such hills exist within the specified distance, they are treated as a Aravalli range. Although it appears scientific on the paper, but the Aravalli Hills cannot be defined or measured by the height only. Through you, Honorable Speaker, sir, I wish to submit that this issue goes beyond the legal interpretation because it concerns ecological balance, environmental securities, and the responsibility we are owning for the future generation. There are lots of importance, right, of Aravalli Hills, and we can't even count those importance. But yeah, some importance, the major importance I'm going to highlight here, like Aravalli Hills act as a natural barrier, right, against the desertification. They prevent us, right, they prevent expansion of the Thar deserts. They remove the climate patterns and the rainfalls, and even they significantly reduce the dust storm and air pollution if you talk about especially in the Delhi region. So let's ensure that the Aravallis are protected not only in the court judgments. It should be on the ground, right? Not for today, for the future generation of the nation. So it's saving Aravalli is not an option. It's our duty.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jigyasa Gupta, and today I stand here to not only talk but also to question today because questioning is the essence of the democracy. And as a representative of the people, it is my duty to to raise the voices of the unheard and unspoken voices of the million people who have been suffered silently, waiting for the real change. My first issue that I want to highlight is pollution, which is the biggest threat toward the public health of our country. Our cities are gas chambers, and the rivers that are toxic. From little children to the elderly people, everyone is forced to breathe under such a poisonous and hazardous air. And what are the measures government is taken to ensure the basic clean air and water for its citizens? Because it is the quality of life. And moving on to the next, which is building safety, which has always remained a national shade. Despite all the laws and campaigns, women are still hesitate to step outside freely, especially at the night time. And why does always the justice always delay in the cases of crimes against women? To the women of India, to all this live under such a terror or fear? My third issue I want to highlight is unemployment. Unemployment, particularly among the educated youth, is taking our nation to the tomb because degrees are no longer guaranteeing the dignity of job. And what are the steps taken by government to provide the youth the sustainable employment and the opportunities? Our base education system is suffering due to the lack of basic infrastructure and the unequal access, just like in the rural and urban areas. Rural areas and the marginalized communities are left far behind. This discriminations of rural and urban areas has been affecting the future of the children, which government has to take a step ahead for. And I want to talk about poverty. Poverty is the weak under people with the hunger to homelessness to helplessness, and why does it always the poor people? Why does it always fail to reach to the poor people? And who is accountable for these failures? And there is another cancer to our democracy, which is corruption. Corruption is stealing the resources meant for the development of our country, and it is also affecting the public trust. People have to pay price even for the basic price of theirs. And lastly, I want to highlight the child labor. Child labor is robbing the little children's education and their basic childhood also. A nation which allows its children to work at such an early age instead of learning is definitely breaking its own future. So these questions and these things should be highlighted in this rule, and these questions require a real answer and not some excuses. People not require the hollow promises but the real progress. They demand justice, accountability, and the action. Because in our democratic country, it is necessary to highlight the issues of people. Only then we can be truly called as democratic country, which truly works for its people. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker Sir, and all the expected member of the Parliament. My name is Kanhi Vera. I represent my constituency, Aska. I want to highlight the key issue of our region, and and my constituency. Constituents. Honorable Speaker sir, the people of Aska, the major issue of migrant to the other place. They are faced a lot of problems that area because there are very few lack of industry and factories. Then they don't give lot of opportunity to on their land to employment and doing facility. Aska also have a lack of industry and factories, but Aska have a also good agriculture resource and hardworking labor, but the people are very talented, but they don't have a facility like they don't have a skill training center. They don't skill properly in our area, and especially in our farmers needs better irrigation, storage facility and market supply. They can earn lot of from their crops, and our students are not well prepared from going to big MNC company, because there have many language issue. They not prepare from the English language. They not prepare from the public speaking. Like so, I went to students. I want to students need public speaking and English communication skills. They don't express their knowledge about their field. Okay. Highlight big Happiness Institute Skill Center is a very good from the all the people, because Happiness Institute provides a lot of knowledge about skill, English speaking and personality development. In our area, many road issue, lack of road connectivity are very poor. They very poor. I want to our field properly develop in the region. I request the government focus on industry growth, support farmer, improve infrastructure and create more job and training for the people of Aska. Our people deserve development in their land. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker, sir. Thank you for giving opportunity for speak. My constituency is District Ghazipur, Uttar Pradesh. In my district, more of people are suffering from lot of disease and mental issues, health issues also. In my districts, only one district hospital is available, and our district population is more approx 43 lakh, more than 43 lakh of population of district Ghazipur. It is very huge number, and one hospital is very minimum and less, and in the hospital condition is not worth and good. Speaker sir, I would like to say there is no good facility of in the hospital like investigation tests and basic medicines are not available many times. Speaker sir, it is basic needs for minor diseases, and we are seeing every day due to huge population, the persons making a row like a queue. It is not good. Whenever the suffering from the cases, different type of the person suffering from the pain, it is not good for the making a queue. Honorable Speaker sir, one more point add also, there is no bed facility enough for the population. And whenever the person want to the diagnose what the disease suffering from the person, it's basic importance, basic need for test and whatever like equipments. There is no more equipment. One CT scan is available, one MRI is available. This is not enough. It's need to be improved of digital machines, MRI and CT scans and basic things also. Whenever the persons try to diagnose himself, but the authority and the hospital's staff will give a long date for the test, like appointment. This is not good. The person facing issue nowadays, today, and the appointment will give a 1 month and 2 months later. It is a big concern. And on the other hand, road constructions also not good. Whenever the person's sick in the night and in any emergency condition, there is no connectivity is well to reach early to hospital to treat the person. So Speaker sir, I would like to say it is need for some increase of infrastructures, increase of beds and laboratory tests and basic medicines should be available in this hospital. And apart from that, I also mentioned it is need for another hospital also for based on the mass population. For Speaker sir, I mentioned again it is need for the new hospital in the district hospital in district Gazipur also. And other end, whenever the person want to treating in civil, it is very expensive medical treatment in anywhere. Inflation day by day, every day to decreasing the power of wellness of money and earning things. And also tax also to defeated the people every day. So it is very expensive thing like medical treatment or health and medical facility is a basic fundamental for the persons. So my point is like improve the infrastructures, beds and doctors also. There is no sufficient doctor available due to the making a queue. So this is my point to increase like this to manage the people and make a health good. Thank you.
That's me about honorary. Good afternoon, our honorable speaker, sir. Good afternoon, our beloved crew members and all the present parliamentarians. Today, I want to raise a very serious and very prevalent topic. But before I raise my topic to all of you, I would like to thank you, all of you, for coming here and risk your life for taking 3 hours, such a huge pressure on your lungs. Now you can guess what I am talking about. I am talking about the issue of air pollution, increasing air pollution in India and especially in Delhi. There is a famous story or famous phrase in our India for every leaders use or common man also use, that we need roti, kapra and makan. Every politician use here and there in every election. But what if you don't get an air for 5 minutes before roti kapra makan? You all will die. Therefore, there is no use of, or there is no importance of roti kapra and makan before air, the oxygen. So therefore, first of all, we should define the new definition of our basic needs, which is the clean air. How can we improve our overall life quality when our millions of lives are in danger? By breathing every second this toxic gas or toxic air. We are not risking our present generation or present population, but we also threat our upcoming future generation. And we also we are not able to gratitude our elders also, who have done so much service to this India, because their lungs are in danger. They are suffering from serious health issues. Not only that, on economic front, we are suffering a very bad image from all over the world. The tourist will not come in near future if this goes for long time sustained period. So considering all these issues, I want to ask all our parliamentarians and to common people that ask 3 questions. First, what is the roadmap for this suffocating problem? The second, how will make the world look on us with pride or with respect? Last but most important, we as a citizen, when will we able to breathe this clean air, the most needed oxygen, clean oxygen, so that we live in our beloved India and our proud India. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker, respected Member of Parliament, and the people of my city who is watching me live from this Parliament House. All the respective Member of Speakers raise the voice on pollution, women empowerment, Aravalli Hills, hospital, cleanliness, lots of. But today, I want to talk about different and all we are facing every day in our life. Honorable Speaker, sir, about the footpath. Yes. Footpath in Delhi is silently disappearing. And being a member of parliament, I used to go Lodi Garden from my residence to walk. So, Honorable Speaker, what about the other people, the common man who don't have the footpath? Even these days, vendors are occupied. And sometimes I have seen the cars they will put on the footpath, bikes they will put. So where is the place to walk? Even, Honorable Speaker, I have seen a few places where bicycling is put. And you know, in near India Gate, you will go, you will see there is a system, there is a bicycles, you will just download the app, unlock the cycle and you will enjoy the ride. And what about the other part of the city? Why we will go India Gate? Why we are not have the safe kind of facility in Lakshmi Nagar, in Bhajanpura? Why? Honorable Speaker, I want to ask about it. Even recently on our parliamentarian tour, I went outside country. I have seen there is a different kind of infrastructure. The walk has its own path. Cycling has its own line. And car has its own road. So why not in Delhi? I want to talk about if we are going to become a third 5 billion trillion. Third, what we call these days, our honorable biggest economy. Yes, honorable speaker, thank you for helping me. So that's why if we are going to become the third biggest economy in the world, and we don't have the infrastructure kind of this our neighboring country have. So this is my major question, and I want to raise my voice today to my cities, New Delhi, that people are not able to walk. Even our children, elders people are also not able to come outside to walk. So one more thing I want to say, and I want to ask that when was the last time you guys come outside and enjoy the walk? I don't think. Even being a member of parliament, I have to go Lodi Garden. So I request honorable speaker. So in the next session, we are going to pass a bill. Then we will clean all the footpath. Even last time when I was walking near my residence, there was a pole aside, and I was on phone. I was hit the pole. So we should remove that pole as well. Yeah, pole is okay, but pole is in this. Just walk on footpath. There is a pole. So we should clean these kind of things. And thank you so much for giving me time. Thank you. So this was the
Honorable Speaker, sir, and respected member of both the houses, myself Shikhar Bakshi, and here in this parliamentary debate, I'll came up and I'll rise with the issue of education issue in the states in my state's constituency of the Chhattisgarh. So as we all know, education is the foundation of nation, and in my state, it is despite its progress, it is in less in progress. So and also facing challenges. So I want to discuss all the challenges and issues regards to my state's constituency. Okay. So first issue I would like to highlight that my state educational system consists of outdated curriculum. So like most of the curriculum focus on memorizing but not understanding. So it is difficult for the students to go better with the syllabus. So that's the major issue that has been arising nowadays in my states, and due to which most of the students don't learn in a better way. They are not able to grab the basic knowledge with regards to that things that what they are studying, and what they are going through the syllabus. So that's are the major concern that arise in my state. So I would like to highlight this. Moving to the next part, inequality in education. So unequal access to the educational techniques like placing of projectors and placing of modern classrooms as well. These kinds of educational development is less facilitated in our state's constituency. Because of that, most of the students are not able to understand what are being studied about the subject, and what are they understanding, or what are they going through. And most of the modern parts of the nowadays education curriculums, they are not well versed with the facts and not fully aware with the facts. Honorable Speaker, sir, I am moving to the third part of my state's issue. Teachers training and quality of training under my state's constituency.
teaching method remains unprofessional in my state constituency. Because of that, most of the students are not well versed or aware of the facts that they are not preparing for the exams. They are highly feel less feel less motivated about the exams, and they don't know how to write the paper and how to put their words in the presentations, as well in to develop the presentation skills. So they are lacks in developing their kinds of skills as well. So I'm moving to the fourth part. Due to the lack of burdens and more lack of due to the most burden of the education and the curriculums. So due to the academic pressure and due to the academic pressure, students are highly feel anxious about the thing and are anxious about the their mental well-being. So they are not well likely to be upgraded. So that's the thing. And moving to the last point, exam oriented systems. Most the things is happening is that success is measured mainly by the marks, not by the exams. If the students is not prepared well and they write the paper in examination from the unreasonable or unusual means, and they gained marks on unreasonable means, by unreasonable means, and so these are the not proper techniques to less followed by the curriculum activities, such as they are not including the curriculum activities such as like playing of chess and all the things, mental developing. So they are not including in their examination as well. Only they are only adding examinations marks, not by not adding others marks that they are upgrading or developing in there by other means. So with this, I am ending my.
Honorable Speaker, sir, and all the member of the Parliament. Today, I would like to talk about problem that we all see every day, but rarely think about it. We enjoy fast service like 10-minute food or grocery delivery, but behind this fast service delivery worker who works very long for very little amount. So recently, it was reported that a delivery boy worker earned just about 763 rupees for completing 28 hours and in 28 deliveries in 15 hours. So approximately 52 rupees per hour. So sir, we are proud of our digital growth and quick commerce service gig workers. But this is not about technology success. This is human exploitations. So these workers, so I want to just focus on this. These workers are focused to rush and break safety norms and risk their lives just to retain rating and of course incentives. So these workers are not machine. They are people with families and responsibilities and of course their health also concerned. So technology should make this better, not harder. We must ask question ourselves. Are we building a digital economy on the back of underpaid, overworked workers? They deserve dignity, fair wages, job security, and social protections. Growth of business should also mean respect of workers. So these are my concern. So we have to focus on it.
That's wonderful.
An honorable respected sir, a strong country is not built on fast delivery, but on fair treatment of its people. Thank you, sir.
That's wonderful. All right. I would like to go and start my questioning. All right. So with you, because you are the last one, so you are the latest one. You have just said that, you want to drive attention of the parliament for the delivery boys and delivery people, right? So you said that they are 52 rupees per hour, right? So do you want to incentivize them? Do you want to subsidize them? Or what do you want for them? Actually, I want to understand that. What do you want?
What is my concern?
Yeah, what is your concern? What do you want from the parliament? What do you want from the nation, from the country for delivery boys?
So, first, sir, we have to give road safety. We have to focus on road safety, and I just want the 10-minute delivery service completely removed. Now because of the traffic and because of the many things, they also a human being. So we have to focus on it. 10-minute service is not good. So 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or maybe on time. So these are my concerns.
Have you ever ordered any food?
Yes, I ordered.
If you are so hungry and if the delivery boy gets 5 minutes late, what is your statement at the time?
So I never complained. I never complained.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure, sir.
What if by delaying and by coming late, that garma garam gulab jamun or garma garam jalebi that becomes thandi? So will you bear it or will millions of people bear it? क्या लाखों करोड़ों लोग इसको bear कर लेंगे?
I don't know about lakho karodo log, but yeah, I bear it, sir.
But you are being in the parliamentarian, that is your concern. That's why you favor it. But would you like to justify it 100%? That all the people of your country can bear it?
So we have to bear it.
We have to bear it.
Yes, we
Are you sure?
bear. Yes, sir.
So it is your suggestion to the common people.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm coming to actually, Mr. Ashok Kumar, that he just, highlighted the parking, and he said that, sometimes it is very difficult to pass the ambulance and just, because there are no specific parking zones. Delhi is being very congested place, like,
Yes, very
4 to 5 crore people are living in Delhi, and the demography of Delhi is, very congested, and there is no space. It's not spacious. I want your clarification. How would you like to draw the map of Delhi to give the parking space in Delhi?
Okay. So already many developed cities are doing that. We have to do construction of underground parkings and multi-level parkings and automated parking system. China is already doing that in many cities. So underground parking will occupy little space. We have done in the metro. We can do that in our infrastructure related to parking as well as.
Okay. So we can develop the infrastructure you're talking about, right? So do you want to develop the multi-story buildings infrastructure and structure where you also park in multi-zones?
Yes.
Like latest example we have, that is Bharat Mandapam. I have seen parking of Bharat Mandapam, that's multi-layer parking. So what would you like to say on that? Multi-layer parking you want to
Yes.
highlight?
For multi-level parking, we need a space, we need land. But I will emphasize on underground parking.
Underground.
Yes. We can create so many of underground parking to occupy to park our cars, and we can charge some rental from the citizens. In this way, we can develop a revenue model from this problem. You can use the space underground parking and you have to pay for that.
That's great. Do you agree with this proposal? You have a question? Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. As you mentioned that about the parking problem of Delhi, as we know that Delhi is emerging, right? And a lot of migrants coming in these days, and it's not inevitable. It always happen. It has been happening, and it will happen. So, do you really think that it will work? We should stop the migration. We should build such infrastructure in developing cities so that people will not enter in Delhi. Because as we know that it's not solvable at some ground, right? So we have to work on that. Do you agree with me?
Migration.
Thank you, esteemed member, to ask the question. Actually, we cannot stop migration by any law because it's a democracy, but we can sensitize the public on many civic issues. One of the issues is how to use pooled car, how to use bus, metros, and we can also build dedicated corridor for the people who travel from cities to NCR. They use personal car. Instead of using personal car, they can use public transport, high quality public transport. And there are so many issues we can address.
Where will they park their cars?
Sorry.
If they don't have any car, where will they park their cars?
No, I am stating that instead of using their personal cars, we can build a dedicated transport, high high-end transport from cities to NCR, from Gurgaon, high-quality bus. They can use bus to travel from Delhi to NCR.
Is it not there?
It's there, but in limited. There are limited numbers.
The unlimited numbers. You have a question too, Mr. Ashok? All right. Mr. Firoz has a question.
I will answer a few points. Migration is the biggest problem in India. All the cities are suffering from that. So we have to work on the ground level to control our population. So this is actually population related issues. So we have to work on that. And my question was limited to parking problem in Delhi. So I have already suggested so many measures that our government should take in a time-bound manner. Sir.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question. Like you suggest to us underground parking. How it possible in rainy season? Our Delhi drain system is not well. How to manage in rainy system? And another thing, it is not a proper way to manage a parking system. Government should be implementation of the vehicles free of cost and whatever.
There are so many measures we can take, sir. At first, I come to you the issue you just have spoken about, the underground parking. We have metros which runs deep, almost 70-80 meters below the ground, like Hoj Khas, Chhavri Bazaar. We can create underground parking in entire cities on so many places. There are so many. Look, we have to survey that. Once we have decided what we have to do, we can formulate a committee. We can outsource expertise from the other cities, other worlds, which already have delivered on this front. So it's not the issue of underground parking or multi-level parking. It's the action plan the government should drive onwards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Asam Khan on the seat on the hot seat, please.
So I want to ask you a question, because your issue and my issue is closely related. So what will be your suggestion to curb the problem you just raised in the house, sir? Your potential solution.
As our respected member of parliament already briefed about parking issues, and I have seen lots of places in Delhi where you will witness multi-level parking. Even recently, I have taken a risk to visit on Christmas Noida, and I was stuck. One of the biggest DLF mall of India. We used to go there because we have a card, so our child can enjoy. But we spent there around 45 minutes to find the parking. The entire mall was full. There was a people, they were guiding. The mall parking is full. You have to go multi-levels. There was also multi-level parking in Noida sector 18 sector. So in India, in especially Delhi, even if you will go Indira Gandhi Airport, there is a big multi-level parking with underground plus 7th floor. So this initiative already has been taken by the government, and in all the mall, even in societies, they are using multi-level parking or some elevated parking. So you can put car in 2 or 3 stands.
I want to ask a supplementary question. Sir, you just pointed out there are so many multi-level parking in Delhi. But sir, don't you think it's not sufficient? Because you just talked about the parking in Noida. It's a private property, maybe, or managed by MCD, but it's very less in number. Sir, we want a population-wise ratio, so we can call how many parking space available per thousand of people, per thousand of citizens. Sir, can you throw some light on that data?
Came because of these all financial companies came in India. They are giving very, you'll pay only 50,000, you will get a car on loan. The issue is here. If if you have car, suppose I have one BMW. Okay, I know the price of petrol. So I don't want to spend more money. I will buy a one Wagoner car just of 8 lakh rupees, and I just want to pay 50,000.
Yes.
So first of all, it is a civic sense we have to think about.
Yeah.
Recently, I was living in Rajnagar Extension. There was a pool car system.
Yes.
We have a WhatsApp group. Okay, everyone have car, but nobody want to use. There is a particular, if I'm using today my car, I will text a message that I have 5 seats available.
Yes.
So people will pin that I will go, and there will be a fare. Like from Rajnagar Extension to Connaught Place, the price is only 100 rupees. Okay. So in one car there are 5 people.
So there.
So if we will think about this, okay, then there will be no traffic, there will be no rush. If public don't want to use public transport in these days, Delhi buses are so clean, well managed. Even I want to try to use public transport, but because I'm coming from Ghaziabad, I have to come by my own car. And you are aware, honorable member of parliament, every weekend I spend 30 minutes to find out the parking.
Yes. Yes, sir. From your answer, I can infer of one solution. If any person in the Delhi wants to buy a car, he has to submit a dedicated, organized parking space that he owns. Otherwise, you can't buy a car in the Delhi. What's the possible solution?
No, honorable member of parliament, there is a guidelines of Delhi government. If you are building any flat or apartment or villa, you have to be approved the plan. There will be a car parking, then you will build. But these builders are very, what we can say, smart,
Greedy.
builders,
Corrupt.
and our system is also corrupted.
Yes.
Yes. So that's why they use parking area also as a flat.
Yes.
So they can get rent.
Yes.
So that's the reason we have to what we can say, we have to change our corruption system.
Yes. And that's your party.
Yes. In last 60 years, when our party was here in India, we were using the system plan. But these days there is no car parking.
Okay. Thank you for time, sir. Also, so as you mentioned that air is more pivotal than everything, right?
Anything else?
Yeah. So could you please provide me some remedy? How do we clean air in Delhi?
There are layers of remedies like short term, medium term or long term. The first and foremost, we have to focus on local area measures like lessening the number of vehicles, sprinkling of water on roads, and on a regional level, we should request our neighboring states to lessen or eradicate totally the stubble burning. These are the short term. In long run, we have to make policies for zero petrol or diesel cars, and we should totally go for more and more public transport so that the other supplementary question like traffic issue and footpath issue both are already cleared along with the air pollution. That's my rule.
Pointed out in your speech the problem of healthcare and dense population in your area.
Yes.
Sir, what do you think the major cause of healthcare crisis? Isn't it population? So, as a responsible citizen of this country, what can we do?
Thank you for asking the questions like how to manage the health treatment and how to manage the people of health. Like I have idea for the nation towards like the government should be introduce like a mohalla clinic in also rural area. And one more thing also, add one point also, The government also introduced like a telephonically advice to segregate the diagnose and measure and normal disease and conditions also. So easily track the cases. It is a serious chronic cases and severe cases where easily identify and treated to on the time. It is a very helpful for the segregation and treating on the time to save the life.
Okay. So you suggest tier-based system
Yes, sir.
from Mohalla clinic to a specialty hospital.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
So, sir, as you mentioned that India is in health crisis, right?
Yeah.
So, could you please enlighten us, like, what are the major sources of these crises, like, from where it's emerging? Main reason for that.
It means
Like, we suppose in Delhi, people are getting health issue just because of pollution. So, in that way.
Okay.
In India level.
I understood. This is not factor of pollution only. Lot of way to affecting the people like the stress, lifestyles, and their physical wellness. Lot of cause to increase the disease day by day. And one more thing, I also telling like the why not the government contribute to health sector of more and more of the GDP. Nowadays, total GDP of our country to contribute 2.13% of only health sectors. This is not good.
Correct.
And state government also contribute approx 1.5 to percentage, and central government only contribute to 0.5%. It is not good amount to the health sector. Health is a basic and fundamental right also. So enhance the fund to cure the persons, and also rural area to increase the infrastructures and also maintain up the chain, how to segregate, how to categorize up the disease and treated to it.
Hello, sir. There is a one contrast actually between matlab GDP contribution from health sector, and somewhere we are also actually producing the large medicine, and we are establishing and building the many hospitals. So for where actually it is fair to also producing so many medicines, and people are actually getting stuck just on like under the malnutrition, okay, and they are not getting proper portion. So therefore they are under subjected to actually like ill, okay, and sick. So how we can strike a balance between, because somewhere government wants to contribute some GDP from health sector, they are also generate some revenue, but somewhere also actually we make people actually ill and sick.
Okay, I understood. Your point is how to escape from the malnutrition and health sector, how to improve our health.
Yes, sir.
It is a simple thing. We are nowadays facing a lot of corruption also. Firstly, to decrease the corruption, whenever the government introduce any policy and facility to reach a single person, it is the maintaining of our duties also. And malnutrition, sometime it is a responsible for our awareness and education. To increase the awareness and education and decrease our corruptions level, so definitely we'll work on the everyone.
Health department increase the GDP, increase the amount. Look, amount to develop budget amount okay. Increase the budget. But which department is the most important to develop? Education, health, ISRO, defense. Which department is most important to increase our budget?
Good questions. I think first it is a need for our health. Whenever we feel healthy, then we can to try to any level anything. Whenever I am not well, how to grow. Firstly, I am not able to go there. Whatever anything. Whenever I am not feel, I can't do anything. Firstly, to increase the health sector, to keep the person wealthy, healthy, and whatever to so and another thing, whenever the person feel better, then do better.
Employment and industrial growth in my constituency, that is Nawada. It is not the problem of my constituency itself. It's a problem of my state Bihar itself. Because as we know that around more than 60% population are still dependent on agriculture even after 78 years of independence. And if I talk about employment of youth, around more than 50 to 60% are still youths are migrating from Bihar to different metropolitan city for their livelihood. No one wants to leave their home. It's compulsion of their family, of their choices. That's what they are doing. Whenever any festivals come, a lot of migrants come from a lot of metropolitan city to their home. We often see a lot of videos of train, like a lot of migrants are coming from their metropolitan city. But no one is talking about why they are coming back and going again back to those cities. So here I want to highlight this issue because in our constituency and our state, we have very less industry. And I really ask to the speaker sir to highlight this issue and develop to formulate such program, such policy, so that we will develop some industry in a state like Bihar. We have a glorious past. You know about Magad, we have a rich history, but still we are lagging. It's lagging because of the policies, because of the bribe, multiple things I can say. So that's the thing. Apart from that, I want to highlight the issues of national, and that is rupees depreciation. As we know that it is one of the most economical issue in our country, because we are importing country and we need forex. And day by day, you know what? Around 20% rupees decline in just last 2 years. Earlier it was 75 rupees for $1, but today rupees goes to 91 rupees. You can see how we are dependent. As we know that we are importing country, so we are depending on forex. So we must appreciate our rupees. You know, around 2.3 billion people, around 2.3 billion dollar FDI withdrawals in last 2 months in our country. This is just because of that our stocks market are crashing and our economy are not developing. So government must intervene in that so that FDI will come and do some kind of infrastructure so that it will create employment and multiple things for the developing of our country, and that is the envisage of our Honorable Prime Minister also. We want third emerging developing country of our world. And apart from that, I want to highlight the issues of pollution. Pollution is not the issue of only Delhi, it's a global issue. You know what? Every year around 7 million people die because of this issue. So we cannot neglect it. It's a paramount issue. According to WHO standard, the AQI is around 20 to 30. But in Delhi, you can see everybody when we enter in the temple of this democracy, at that time we saw the smoggy, the mist, multiple things while traveling. So today AQI hit around 500, but still we are not. In this time, Delhi government and central government both are ruling by same party, and Delhi is not this problem only solved when both will work together, and this is the golden opportunity masses of Delhi given to the government, so they can work together. Because you know what, Delhi is the national capital city. It is not the only predominance of the India, it's the predominance of the world, because a lot of embassies here. You know what, around one big bag, multiple nations instructed their embassy, please don't step out from their embassy. How? You can see the severe problem it is in India. So we must work on that. We can apply Beijing model, multiple things we can do if government want. And in the end, you want to say that whatever dreams our constitution, our founding member of Indian Constitution envisaged, we are not adhering it. We must follow it because they have sacrificed for us. Thank you, everyone. Very good.
So first of all, thank you, Honorable Speaker Sir, to provide me this golden opportunity to present myself, and also respected all the actually members of the House and also opposition benches. Okay, so being a member of actually Cabinet Ministry, I'm also by representing my actually constituency, that is Chitrakoot, Uttar Pradesh. And I have actually so many issues related to actually my constituency and as well as nation concern somewhere, because we all know that all those issues actually related to actually global and national concern, they are actually consider they would also consider as a constituency issues by default. Okay, so we all know that as per the India's constitution, many ordinary rights are there, and we have actually this is actually you all are supposed to must aware about those actually rights like environmental rights, fundamental rights actually, and civil and political rights. So many rights are there, but actually earlier in the past, basic necessities was their food, cloth, shelter, but nowadays it has been completely changed as per the actually modern era. So we are also supposed to getting so many rights like environmental rights, pure air and water with sanitization. So these kinds of actually issues are there, and actually I have classified many classes like first class actually my class is going to be done like health and nutrition. So we all know that, sir, many policies actually has been implemented by the ruling government, and we also must actually aware about that ki there is no need to be innovation some new issues, but we have to ensure that what policies are under execution, we have to ensure that it is accessible to last mile or not, and it is also implemented at the grassroots level or not. So this is the concern, and these are actually concern and issues are there just because of malfunction of actually government and authority. So we have to ensure that at first place. Okay, and my concern is that related to like health and education and nutrition at first place. Many schemes are there actually has been launched from the ruling government, like Ayushman Bharat is there, National Health Mission actually is there, and also Jan Aushadhi Kendra is there. But still in these actually policy execution, many backlogs and many gaps are also there just because of, and one scheme is also there, PM Poshan Abhiyan, and for the women's, okay, and childhood and for livelihood, for their livelihood. And there is also gap like one of the biggest issue in rural areas, like female maternal infant mortality rate just because of malnutrition, because they are unable to getting proper service and proper actually meals from the government side, which is actually guaranteed for the actually women who are under pregnancy. So that's why they are also caused somewhere maternal infant mortality rate, and also cause actually death. So this is the actually biggest concern. And also when it comes to the health sector, there is huge gap between doctors, staff and ASHA workers, because one doctor representing the over 30,000 of patients. So this ratio is unfair at all. As per my opinion, this should not be there. And my actually constituency concern is that Chitrakoot district hospitals are also lacking with some poor infrastructure. There is no any equipments and machineries are there. They are always triggering to the peoples and referring to the somewhere another cities like Prayagraj, Banaras is there, and somewhere many patients are there who cause death on the way. So this is not actually fair, and government, and my appeal to the ruling party's government, this is actually, it must be, they are supposed to take it seriously. Okay, and next issues is there, for instance, shortage of doctor and ASHA patient ratio and public health care center, primary health care center is also one of the biggest case. We got lack of primary health center. Many rural people are there and they are not proper getting proper service from health sector, and they are also subjected to actually goes far away and goes to 50 and 100 plus kilometer by traveling to get a simple actually health care and treatment. So this is actually not a fair. And my second clause is that, sir, honorable speaker, sir, my second clause, education and literacy. Many policies are actually there and under execution, like new education policy, national education policy 2020, and Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan also there. And second is RTI Act, Right to Education Act, which is government empowered to provide the basic, free and fair elementary education to the age group of children who go under the 6 year to 14 years. So this is actually basic, actually fundamental rights of actually children's. So government ensure that, and even in this way also government are also actually getting fail somewhere to provide the actually basic education, because one of the communities there in my constituency and which is belongs to very poor, and they are very indulged into the bricks manufacturing unit, and they are also supposed to go there just by actually following their whole family, and they are not actually getting proper education. So that's the biggest concern from my side, and honorable speaker, sir. And second is poor infrastructure are there, lack of college, lack of institution in universities. People are somewhere bound to go to the somewhere actually far away from their rural areas and for their hometown. Most of the people goes to like Delhi and Prayagraj. Main educational hub centers are there, we all know that. So somewhere also huge population actually burden over actually that city, and somewhere this population burden also cause the actually pollution. So that's the concern. So actually government must be actually taken a step on this way. And the second thing is their digital divide. One of the biggest concern is there in our rural areas. One of the mindset actually huge digital divide gap is there, especially for the girls. Many rural areas parents are there who are not willing to provide a smartphone to their girls. So one of the biggest actually gap in digital divide. So these kinds of mindset are also there, and one of the biggest concern, dropout ratio is also there in order to rural areas. When actually at the time of admission, many admissions are there actually to take place, but as far as their education and higher education come to soon their case, but it comes under the it subjected to the dropout. So in the higher education we can see that the great dropout ratio is also there. So one of the biggest concern, and dropout ratio basically is there just because of poor infrastructure. Many actually gap is there because route from rural area side, many parents are there who are not willing to send their actually children to get education from outside. So that's the concern. And poverty, one of the biggest biggest concern, they are not affordable, and they can't actually afford these types of actually expenses and all. So this is the one actually ratio. And second thing is unemployment gap, because academia and industry gap one of the biggest concern, because what our India's education system are providing to their students and their actually in the future of the nation. So this is actually completely mismatched with the demand of industry. Lack of skill set, because industries are demanding something else, but education system provides something else. So there is a gap, huge gap. So therefore they are also somewhere causing the unemployment. So it must also be actually considered from my opinion. And second, actually third class, honorable speaker sir, third class is that women empowerment. Somewhere government also actually executing many policies. Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, Ujjwala Yojana also there. Nari Shakti Abhiyan is there, and women reservation is also there. But we all know that low workforce participation of women in every sphere. We can see that in the like factory sector, and we all know that just because of poor infrastructure and like just due to actually economic zone, like industrialization zone. So it is also actually uneven distributed in the like in the whole India special economic zone. Yes, sir. Thank you by there. So special economic zone actually unevenly distributed. So this is the gap, and therefore women participation is not actually well, and violence, crime against women and its insecurity concern is also there. So therefore women are not willing to move from their hometown to actually from for outside to do business and do job. So one of the biggest concern, and actually drop out due to the actually early child marriage actually of girl. Somewhere girls has a lots of goals and a lots of aims they are also holding, but just due to actually early childhood marriage, they actually could not beat their target with their aim. So that's the biggest concern. So in this way, my question to the government also, what step actually has been taken by the government side, and what government actually doing in this way. So that's all. And fourth clause is that rural development. Rural development, sir, honorable speaker, sir, many schemes are actually there from government side. Manrega is there, and which is recently has been changed. Yes, sir. Let me finish. Manrega is there, which has been recently actually replaced by the BG Ramji scheme very recently, and PM Awas Yojana is there. Jal Shakti Mission is there, and PM Gram Sadak Yojana is there. But still, many backlogs and gap also there. Like under the Manrega schemes, many base delays, because many people are there after completing their task, their actually job, they are not unable to get the proper money on time. So that's the biggest concern. And seasonal unemployment is also there, because somewhere by following these schemes, we can also ensure the provide to the actually rural people guarantee rozgar just for a limited time period, 100 to 125 days only. And seasonal unemployment is also there just because of there, and therefore poor maintenance, and therefore somewhere they are also for the migration just because of job insecurity, because in the rural areas they are not getting proper job and for a whole season. So yes, those are be many class are there actually in my case. So I'm a last one, so let me finish. Okay. Yeah, sure. So please. Okay, sir. Okay, so and big actually Panchayati Raj institution lack of actually funds are there. They are also suffering in order to take their fund concerns, sir, and unable to operate their Panchayati Raj concern. Okay, and development. Second thing, fifth actually clause are there related to agriculture and farmer. And we all know that agriculture is the backbone of any India's any economy. We all know that. And many policies are there like PM Kisan, Samman Nidhi, KCC, Fasal Bima Yojana and MSP. One of the biggest concern like high input cost and low outcome, because many Kisans are there, farmers are there who had just invested so many actually their budget for actually particular crops, and for irrigation purpose, cultivation and plugging, and like chemical and pesticide. But when it comes to the one of the biggest concern actually in MSP, because under MSP few crops only register and listed like wheat, rice and some millets. Okay, and what about the ruling party's opinion about the rest of the Indias, and they are holding multiple types of geographical relief feature, because these types of crops are actually especially dedicated to the one belt like Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh Gangetic Plain somewhere. But what the opinion about the rest of the India, because only few crops are listed. So this is the biggest concern. So sir, please. And okay, somewhere actually let me speak. Let me speak about the chance. Sir, please, sir, please. Conclusions are is there. Conclusion. Actually, one of the biggest concern from the actually environmental pollution side, and we all know that actually Delhi pollution is all, and this is the actually global issue, and especially in Delhi. Eight minutes, sir. One line from my side actually, especially for Delhi actually, I would like to share with you all. कहते हैं कि बीड़ी सिगरेट क्या रखा है, बीड़ी सिगरेट सिगार में
कि क्या रखा है बीड़ी सिगरेट सिगार में, सांस लेके देखिए दिल्ली एनसीआर में. तो good governance is also there. Effective implementation must be there in order to take any policy implementation, and we have to ensure the accountability and transparency and all the city authority, whether they are individuals.
This was a wonderful session. This was a really a clapping session today. So feedbacks. Yeah, I'm giving you the feedback. Exactly. I'm coming with the feedback. Now I'm coming to Mr. Ashok, that you just spoke and raised a very good concern and a very good point. It was actually about the parking zone and parking layers. But the point again, when you speak, sometimes you become over loud, which is not required sometimes. Like, it's like harsh tone it become. You have to maintain that tonality, right? So I request you, ladies and gentlemen, what we can do, we can actually, propose multi-layer parking zones, which can actually decrease all the public disturbing parking areas, and which can decrease the deficiency of the parking zones and space. So your tone should be maintained in terms of the area, in terms of the people, our number of people. And one thing also that was a wonderful thing today you did, I would like to appreciate it, that you maintained eye contact to each and everyone. You did not go back, you did not come front, you did not go right, you did not go left. Your body language was at same place. The most exciting part was there in your body language. I just noticed that you were using your gestures in a very proper way, in a good way. And somewhere fumble was there. So fumble was there because you wanted to speak more, and the point you were recalling, so that was not coming on time and moment, and that's why you were fumbling due to not recalling the point. But overall, I'm 95% satisfied and very happy because you started. Thank you very much. I'm coming to Jigyasa. Jigyasa, I think you are a very good communicator, speaker, because when you speak with flawlessly actually, right? So I love the way you spoke today, but I think you don't take initiatives. That's your main big issue, that you feel like, I can't present, or I can't represent. Sometimes you even don't participate. So you should participate. And one thing, like when you just speak, you just try to combine your hands and rub it like that. So leave it, because you cannot rub your hands while speaking and presenting yourself, right? You didn't notice? I am the trainer, I will notice. Right, that's my job. And for that, I have taken the fee actually. Right, subconsciously it happens. But the articulation what you did, it was amazing. It was very clear. बहुत clear था, बहुत understanding था, बहुत अच्छा था. It was very good. Mr. Vikash, I'm coming with you. And the first thing what I noticed, and that is my recommendation to you, that you should never apologize at the time of presenting. You should never say, I'm sorry. You should never say, I forgot. You should never say, actually, I'm trying to recall. What you should do, you should try to keep some certain points which can replace your stuck fumble and your forgetting moment. Like, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my question is that, how would you like to, do that? What if I just, what if I propose a plan? Would you like to pass the bill on it? You can ask a question, you can put a concern, but you don't say, oh, sorry, I forgot it. And you started laughing on yourself, and people also started laughing. So you should not do this.
So we can act like drinking water.
That is wonderful thing. That is wonderful thing. Excuse me, a sip of water, please. I need. पानी पी रहा है, सोच रहा है. जब तक पानी खत्म हुआ तब तक सोच चालू हो गई.
Yeah.
That's a very simple thing. And you have done a good thing, and you have spoken a good point, and especially the point you highlighted about Aravalli Hills, and that is actually a big concern for the nation, right? So you talked multiple things. I told you earlier that I love the point that you said about, why criteria, 80 meter criteria, 100 below 100 meter criteria, why criteria. So that was the point I liked. And then I'm coming to Ayush. Ayush, sometimes you speak flawlessly and sometimes you start fumbling and stammering a lot. And when there is a scenario which is hard scenario, like today's scenario was little hard. इसलिए जितने भी आप लोग के बैच के जो नॉर्मल बच्चे थे, नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स थे, वो गायब है. आप देखिए
सर,
है ना, दैट्स द कंसर्न, क्योंकि उनको पता था कि कुछ हार्ड होने वाला है. I would like to appreciate Mr. Santosh. He came, being a junior. Yeah, no, that's a wonderful. जैसे आपको पता चला, the moment you realize that कि ये सेशन तो हार्ड हो रहा है, Mr. Ashok spoke, Mr. Vikash spoke, right? अब मुझे बोलना है, तो आपकी फंबलिंग बढ़ गई, because it was happening from here. So you have to give a message that you don't need to fumble and you don't need to think it like, it's a kind of very difficult task. You spoke amazingly. You talked about Nainital and you talked about the issues of Nainital, landslides, constructions and all these, and especially rain also. So that was a good point because I visited 3 times to Nainital, my favorite place. Kanaya Bera, very good point, yeah. Right. It was amazing actually, right? Because you highlighted about the skills centers, and you also give a proposal to start Happiness Institute in Chhattisgarh, you know. Yes, Odisha, right, you know. Chhattisgarh, Odisha. Happiness Institute he highlighted. That was a very good point. मेरे ख्याल से बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट आपने बोला. कहीं कहीं प्रोनाउंसिएशन की आपकी बहुत मिस्टेक हो रही थी, जो आपको हाँ वो वाला बन वाला और वो वाला MTI हाँ वेंट कर रहे थे, तो इसको आपको इम्प्रूव करना है. Mr. Feroz, I think you spoke amazing things about the health systems, like you proposed about Ghazipur, and where you said that government hospital is very limited, like you talked about there is only one government hospital, so we have to go somewhere, you know, Agra, or sorry, we have to go Prayagraj, or we have to go some other places for the treatment. But again, I would like to recommend you one thing, that please improve your grammatical errors and mistakes, because sometimes you don't speak complete sentences. पूरे मुकम्मल वाक्य नहीं बोलते आप कंजक्शन प्रीपोजिशन से खेलते रहते हैं और वर्डिंग खेलते रहते हैं, आपका पूरा सेंटेंस नहीं रहता है, उसको पूरा करिए. बाकी इट वाज अ ग्रेट थिंग.
This was good.
The confidence was
It was good
yes.
because he has been serving in the army and yes, well, that's why.
His confidence is already amazing.
In case shivering is there.
Little shivering was there. Little shivering was there. Yes, little shivering was there. हाँ?
तभी तो यहाँ
तभी तो यहाँ आने का फायदा है. जितना आप कापेंगे उतनी हमारे लिए फायदा होगा. पहले आने के बाद नहीं, आने के बाद. Mr. Guddu, I think yes, as I already gave you compliment and I quoted about Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, because I feel that, you know, you speak with very clarity and amazing way, but sometimes you are like longer pause you take. Pause आपका बड़ा लंबा हो जाता है, तो उस वक्त इंसान को लगता है क्या हुआ, भूल गए क्या, है ना, it happens कि क्या हुआ, लग रहा है कुछ गलत हो रहा है. So your pause goes very longer. You have to just minimize that. And Baki, the things were all right, and the things were amazing that you proposed here, and you just talked about especially air pollution. That's a spiking thing. तो it was overall good thing. और आपने जो कोट किया रोटी कपड़ा मकान से पहले है अच्छी सांस लेना, and that was a very good point. It was touching. And coming to the poll system, right, you know, especially I loved the way he created humor. अगर सब सीरियस है, कोई उसमें मजाक करता है, तो वो सबसे अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि उसने कुछ अनोखा किया, राइट. तो जिस तरीके से आप अपने आप को खंबे से लड़ा के आपने मजाक क्रिएट किया,
सीरियस बात
है ना, सीरियस बात में, एंड दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड थिंग. अचानक जो हमारी मेमोरी रिफ्रेश हो जाती है.
लाइक असलम जी,
प्लीज हाँ हाँ.
असलम जी हमारे बैचमेट है, कंटिन्यू उन साथ में कर रहे हैं. इनके साथ एक समस्या है कि ये जब बोलते हैं ना तो पसीना आता है इनका, दैट इज सब कॉन्शियस है. बट ये जब बोलते हैं तो मैं क्लोजली इनको वॉच करता हूँ, तो बोलते तो पसीना आता है, चेहरे पे दिखता है, बट बोलते बड़े कॉन्फिडेंटली है. आज भी इन्होंने बोला. तो इनको एग्जाम्पल रखते मैं आपसे एक सीरियस क्वेश्चन पूछना,
बताइए
कि हम अपने चेहरे पे पसीना कैसे लाएं? क्या इतना अच्छा बोला सर. चेहरे पे दिखता है, ये स्टाइल करते रहते हैं, और इनके वॉइस में इतनी क्लैरिटी और
तो
कॉन्फिडेंस.
आप इनके पसीने को नकल करना चाहते हैं, राइट. देखिए फर्क बस इतना है कि इनके चेहरे पे पसीना है क्योंकि इनके पास हसीना है, राइट, और आपके पास नहीं है, भाई. दैट्स द पॉइंट.
दैट काइंड ऑफ ह्यूमर भी नहीं.
यू आर नॉट मैरिड, ही इज मैरिड. आप देख लीजिए जितने शादीशुदा लोग थे सबके चेहरे पे पसीना था और सब अच्छा बोले. देयर वाज लिटिल स्वेट. हाँ, मतलब जो भी प्रैक्टिस हो रही हो. विकास वाज स्वेटिंग, काफी पसीना आ रहा था. यू आर ऑलरेडी मैरिड, है ना. पसीना लिटिल बिट. कुंवारे लोग बेचारे कोई पसीना नहीं. अरे देयर वाज नो पसीना.
असली ह्यूमर लोग सीखते हैं शादी के बाद, क्योंकि वहाँ सीखने का मौका मिलता है.
और आपने उनसे भी ज्यादा सीखा है भाभीियों को देखकर ना, राइट. तो दैट इज द थिंग, राइट. आशीष ने एक बार बड़ी मजाकिया चीजें बोली थी उत्तर प्रदेश की, बहुत अच्छा लगा था.
यस सर.
It was very very good actually, you know. So Aslam Khan was amazing. और पसीना वाला जवाब मैं आपको दे दूंगा. पसीना मतलब it's all about, you know, when you feel very energetic and when you are dive deep into. When he was speaking like he was feeling, or he has already quoted openly that I am trying to imitate Mr. Abdullah sir, or I'm trying to imitate, like, so I feel very good that when he tries to do that, you know,
very confident.
so that was an amazing thing. Hand gestures, exposure, and the point you highlighted, मुझे लगता है कि जब बड़ी बड़ी लोग बात कर रहे हैं और उसमें से कोई बहुत बेसिक चीज लेके आए और उस पर बड़ा अच्छे से बताए, वो दिल को छू जाता है ना. ऐसे हम KGF मूवी देखे तो पाव गिर जाता है,